Hello again and welcome to another wonderful episode of Pole Obsession with the beautiful Elizabeth Domazet and me, Felix Kane, who's also beautiful. Today we
Yes, you are.
Thank you. Today we have with us the even more beautiful Andrea Ryff. We're super excited to have you. Thank you so much for talking to us.
Thank you for having me.
You're gorgeous.
No, but yeah, Marlo could just see that it wasn't sitting right. And as a good coach should, in that moment, she said, you've got too much on your plate right now. You've got too much you're dealing. Do you really want to add something else on top of your plate with this? She said, why don't you go back and take something you've already done and let's make it better. I was like, that's great advice. So I took the piece that I'd done at Paragon, which hadn't been a great on stage experience. It was not a great comp. And we worked on that and we recreated that. In the meantime, which I ended up winning pole art that year with that piece. And that piece was about my girlfriend who passed away with breast cancer. So I was able to do justice to that piece and make it better.
But also let's add that to the mix as well.
Yeah.
I know.
That was a heavy one.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
She dropped that, didn't she? On top of the divorce.
I know. And that, exactly.
That was a big year.
Yeah, it was a big year. But I had this costume.
Yeah.
And it's literally, I've had it since then. And I haven't worn it.
Yeah.
And I've never had a theme that came up where it felt it matched that costume.
Yeah.
And I think that was the thing. And then I didn't compete. Last time I competed was 2018, which was the International Pole Championships. I did the piece about plastic pollution.
Yeah. No, it's completely different.
And then for New South Wales, I had that costume still, the Fee Burke, and I was like, I have this beautiful costume. I would love to be able to wear it again. And that's the one I wore for New South Wales Pole Championships.
It was beautiful.
The interesting thing is, the Kelly Magley one, the one that I wore the other night, didn't even pop into my mind. I'd completely forgotten.
Which is really surprising to me. Yeah, it was really surprising to me.
Don't you think?
Yes, I really agree. And then
So
when you
strange.
came on stage, I was like, first of all, what? I'm actually so happy that you didn't show it to me and tell me, because I wouldn't have had that same feeling seeing you live walking out there with that. This costume, and I'm going to put a little clip up of it, is the most probably stunning costume I have ever seen. And that's huge coming from me, because I've seen a lot of costumes.
Seen a lot of costumes.
It was beautiful.
And also the way it fits you as well. Like it's got like that noodle.
It fits you after 10 years perfectly like that as well.
I was surprised when I put it on, and I was like, wow, it still fits.
Still fits,
It's amazing. And I had two costume choices in that moment where I was like, I'd love to wear something different. And then I was going through my costume box and I was like, oh, hang on a minute. And I had that one.
What a find.
Yeah.
What a find.
And I had the Australian Pole Championships when I won it in 2014. So I said to Dylan, I said, what do you think? I could bring this one back, which is kind of like coming full circle, or I could bring this one. And she was like, that one.
Yeah, I'm so happy that she did that, because
my heart was leaning towards that one anyway. And I'd never worn it.
Yeah.
And I think I was like, I could not come up with a more perfect costume for this piece, this message, my story, and also to come full circle.
Yeah, exactly.
It was really
Such
special.
a different, gorgeous.
Yeah.
I loved
And
it.
it's very beautiful. It's
it's
just
actually
so
stunning.
beautiful.
Yeah.
Do you want to tell you an even funny story? So after the comp, so I wore it twice for run-throughs at the studio, because you have to. So I was like, I don't know how this costume's going to behave because of that band in the centre. I was like, am I going to die in my cliffhanger split? I might. Better try. And then, so I wore it twice. For run-through. I don't do run-throughs in my costume. I don't need it. And I'm glad I didn't. So the third time I wore it was on stage. Now it's almost 10 years old, this costume, and it's been in a bag for 10 years. I haven't worn it. When I went to get undressed at the end to get into our little photos, and then I was like, oh, wait, I just want to get a couple of photos with someone else. And I started putting the costume back on. All of the glue had started to come loose, and there were bits and pieces coming off.
It was just,
and it was
that was
like,
it.
I mean, it's fixable, right? It's not like it's not fixable, but it's like shoes. If you don't wear your shoes often off the glue,
it's just gone.
But it was almost like the costume was like,
I'm finished.
I've done my part, and there's no need.
We're done.
We've
done it.
Yeah.
We've done it.
It was really. I got like a literal goosebumps. So I was like,
wow.
okay, that's interesting.
I did my job.
I've done my job.
It's a sign. It's a sign.
Yeah. So had I worn it for the rehearsal, I wouldn't have had it for the final.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't know. You just sometimes the universe just puts these little
things.
So I looking back at my year this year, I'm like, it's been like this roller coaster year. But I look at it and I'm like, all of these place markers. Sometimes things happen. You're like, why did this happen? I don't understand. It's not until you come to this place you look back and go, oh, I see.
Yes.
I see the path, because I think had I not broken my foot, so with New South Wales, I didn't think about the realities of it until leading up to it, and then I was like, oh my gosh, my ego's taking a bit of a beating. I'm not good enough. How am I going to perform against these younger people? Like, I'd seen some of these younger competitors and what they're doing, and I'm like, I can't do any of that stuff. So I really started to freak out a little bit about the enormity of getting back up on the New South Wales stage and doing that. So I had to work with a mind, and I was like, oh my God, what happens if I'm the last person standing? I don't know whether my ego, I know that sounds maybe it does feel like maybe it's a bit shallow, but I was like trying to be okay with not placing where I wanted to place.
That's a normal feeling, because you had won the Australian Championships. So if you came last in a state hit, you would feel like
I felt like I had to protect my reputation.
Yes, of course.
But we've actually discussed this a few times, like the unrealistic pressure that you put on yourself when you have won, when you have placed, when you have done well, going back into that same competition. Like for me, if I were to do Miss Pole Dance Australia again, I would feel pressure to win, which is why I've never done it again, because I don't like that pressure.
It's a lot of pressure.
I don't like it. It's a lot of pressure. And it's really easy to get stuck in that and fixate on that, and then tell yourself you're not good enough. When you lose, because you will lose because you're not good enough, you won't be good enough to ever pull that. Like, it just catastrophizes everything. And in reality, it doesn't matter.
No.
If you don't win, it doesn't matter.
No.
But when you're in that moment,
it does matter.
It's so hard.
It's
so hard.
It does matter to you.
Yeah. So
it's hard. I worked with a mindset coach because I realized I was spiraling a little bit, and I wanted to pull out so many times.
You tell me all the time.
I was hell-bent on pulling out. I was like, I don't think I can do this physically, but having the broken foot gave me an excuse to go, I'm not going to be my best on stage.
Are you talking about for New South Wales? Oh, I know. That's why I said you need to come and see me. Because I can see it. I can feel it. She was like, Elle, it's a mess. It's a disaster. And I said, are you able to, because I just was opening up my St Kilda studio, and I said, are you able to make it to Melbourne? And she said, yep. She flew down the next day, and then we fixed it all, and then you felt really good afterwards.
I was fine afterwards, but I didn't want to do it. So I can't do it. But again, having the broken foot allowed me to take that pressure off. It was like, I'm not at my best, I'm not at my fittest. So I could go in a little bit calmer. But I worked with a mindset coach before the comp, because I said to him, I'm spiraling because I'm freaking out about how I'm going to feel not placing, and I don't want to put that pressure on myself, but I do want to place, but I don't want to feel pressure to place. And he helped me talk about, realigning my goals and getting into a better mindset to be in that position when your name doesn't get announced. Does that make sense? Because it kind of brought me back to 2015 when I had to sit there with that smile on my face, knowing I'd done the worst show of my life. I was coming in at the reigning champion, and I probably came dead last. And that's hard, right?
It was
to sit there and be like, genuinely.
Well, you still won.
Yes,
you still won something that year.
No, I didn't.
Wasn't you won a best of something?
No. I won. You probably shouldn't be doing this anymore, Andrea. No, I did not. But I think so. When they were, and I hadn't seen, because as a competitor, you backstage, I don't like watching people anyway, but we don't know what everyone's done.
No, that's right.
I did know what they had done, and I was like, these guys are insane what they're doing. So I was like, I don't care. I'm just going to do my thing, and I'm just going to focus on me. This story is personal. I just want to share my story. And my students were there for one of the first time. I had 30 of my achievers in the audience. They'd never seen me perform before. So I was like, that's incredibly special.
Really special.
So I did all of that. So when they announced third, and it wasn't me, I went, I was hoping for third. And then they announced second. I was like, okay, here we go. Right, mindset coach. We're going to go through this. So I started going through all the stuff from the mindset coach. I was like, I didn't. I'm not in the top three. I didn't place.
Doing it now.
I didn't place, so I'm starting to put that. So when they said my name, I was just like, Wait, what?
Hang on.
Oh, are you talking about it in New South Wales?
Yes.
Yes. I'm in the middle of my thing right now.
Yeah. You were like, oh, okay, well, I didn't.
That's exactly
what
my mind, I was thinking. I was like, third. I was like, oh, I was hoping for third. It wasn't third. I was like, oh. And then when it was second, I was like, oh, well, okay, here we go. And I started my breathing.
Yeah.
Face on.
And then you won.
And then they said my name.
How did you feel after that?
Just, it was, the rush of emotion was like I was emotional.
Yeah.
Like it was just.
She was crying on me. They're always crying on me.
I'm crying now. I'll cry on you next.
Thanks.
It was just nice. It was an ego
It is
boost.
nice.
It was just, it was so incredibly special.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Really, really special.
I think
you might have needed it too.
I think I needed it.
Yeah.
Needed that.
And to believe it. You shouldn't, but sometimes it's nice to have something so big and so special to you to give you that boost of confidence.
It validates you, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. It's nice to be validated.
Like, I'm still great.
Yeah.
I'm still great.
Yeah. Oh, actually, I am still great. You are still great.
Yeah.
I mean, we can tell you, but you need to feel
that's right. Yeah, exactly right.
To walk into my studio and say, see?
Yeah.
And to have all your students there as well cheering, because they were a good crowd.
Yeah, they're a good crowd.
They're a fantastic crowd. I think that makes it even that little bit more special.
Yeah, definitely.
It's nice because, like I said, the last time I competed was 2018, which is a long time ago.
Yeah.
And most of them have not
seen you.
Seen me.
Well, because no,
they haven't had that opportunity. But yes, to win the best musical interpretation, that was like, it's one of those coveted.
Yeah, it is a good title, isn't it? Yeah,
especially when the song is important to you.
Yes.
You know, when it's so personal and you put a lot of yourself into it and you've interpreted it like, it's very special. Like you cherish the song, and so when that can be visually seen by the audience, that this interpretation of this musical piece is the best.
Yes, I know.
Yeah,
then it's huge.
Yeah. That was cool.
Yeah.
That was so cool. I was like, okay, I'm done now.
Happy with that.
I'm happy with that.
You got 2 titles this year.
I know.
It's pretty cool.
Look at me.
At 50 years old.
I know.
Yeah. 2 titles. That's actually inspiring for a lot of people, I think.
Yeah,
that's you know what I mean? The fact that you can go in an open age comp and still win titles at 50.
Yeah.
That says a lot about
your leg.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Yeah.
But I think that's what makes pole so special, is that pole, it does provide a space for people to be able to do that.
Yeah.
And I think that I did say this, I had that Instagram thing recently where I said that I don't think there's a lot of sport out there that allows that.
Yeah.
Agreed.
I think once you get to a certain age, like,
bye.
Whereas, it's pole. And thanks to APC, obviously, as well, for providing us with that platform where we can share our stories on stage.
Yeah. I mean, I love that about APC. You do whatever you want. Do what you do well. Do what you want to do, what comes from your heart. You know what I mean? What makes you special.
I think that was such a visionary thing for you to do back then, because it was so highly stylized to one style back then. For you to open up to say, yes, that's great, and also everything else. Just open it up to all these different styles, and even like last night we saw so many different styles.
Yes, I love that.
It's super exciting. And everyone can really make it their own.
Yeah. So I think that is something really special about APC,
100%.
and they can make it their own at the highest level. Which is
I think it's amazing. I think it brings out the best in people. I really, really do.
Yeah. That's what we want. Is there anything that you'd like to say about yourself or about pole or anything?
About myself, about pole?
Yeah. What would you like people to know?
Well, I think my competing days at this level are done. I think this was a really nice one to kind of be like, having said that, though, I did say that in 10 years' time I'll come back and do it again at 60.
Well, I don't know if I'll be doing it when you're 60, mate.
I was talking to Bella about that.
I love it.
Bella goes, see you in 10 years. I was like, actually,
maybe
I might. Imagine that.
You
might have to give me the wild card. She's just here for show.
Oh my gosh.
But,
well, look, at the end of the day, if you've ever won the Australian Pole Championships, if you've ever won it, you can come back and compete at nationals at any point.
oh, there you go.
It's an open
You don't
entry.
need a wild card.
It's an open entry after you've won. Yeah.
There you are.
Yeah, so you don't need to do a state heat. You don't need to do anything. You can just say, I'm coming and doing APC, and I have to go, okay then.
I love that.
So we heard it here first.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, that's part of the privilege of being a champion. You know what I mean? You are one in very few people that have got that title, so you should have privileges to it.
Yeah.
It's exciting to know.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I feel like I'm pivoting. I feel like there's a different.
What's next for you? Yeah.
I would love to step. I don't know. I'd love to step into like life coaching kind of side things. I don't know. I feel like I have a lot to offer.
I think so.
Other, people in different ways, not just from pole, but I think when you get to this side of, when you get to our age and 50, you're looking back. We've learnt a lot. I think I have a lot to offer.
I think we've changed a lot too.
Yeah.
Like I think from when we started, because we started in the industry in a very similar time to each other, I think. From then until now, I think I'm actually a very different person, like a very different person.
Yeah.
And I think that you are too. Yeah. We've grown a lot. We've changed a lot. And, it's interesting, isn't it? How you can just evolve, and within the community, we've tried to change all sorts of things, studio wise, competition wise, who we are as people.
A lot of growth.
A lot of
growth. Yeah, I think that's kind of where I want to go. Challenge people's ideas and mindsets a little bit, and like I said, that's what I wanted to get up on stage and be like, listen, you can still do this at 50. And I think also as women, we feel like we get told, it's almost like our life is so much broken up into these stages. And so when you get to this age, it's like, well, you're done. You're, menopause. And,
you have no use anymore as a sex symbol. Now you will move into being a grandmother.
Correct. Your best years are done. And I just don't agree with that. I want to change that a little bit. But I think when we, to be able to sort of show to people, because I think as you're getting older, like when I was 25, I was convinced that by the time you were 40, life was over. That's how I felt.
Yeah.
And I'm hearing these conversations from the younger ones, and I'm like, hang on a minute, no, that's not actually true. I challenge you on that.
And also, I don't know how you feel, but for me, like in my late 30s and now early 40s, I feel like I am such a bigger person than I've grown so much just in the last 5-6 years. I think you start to sort of not understand life more, but you see the patterns because you've been here for a long time.
But you've seen all of that, right?
Right. You see the patterns of life and you're able to sort of recognize things that come up. And so it's just that lived experience that you can't know until you've done it.
I had a student of mine she was 25, and when she said she was 25, I sort of stopped him in my tracks a little because I was like, oh, gosh almighty, I'm twice your age kind of thing. Like it really flipped. And then I went and I said to her, I was like, you know what's so interesting? Because me at 25 looking forward at that 50 point versus me standing at that 50 point and looking back at 25 are so different.
Yeah.
So incredibly different.
Yeah.
So the advice and information that I was able to give you at the age of 25 is so remotely different to the information and the advice I would give you now at 50.
Absolutely.
Because now I can look back, because when you're at 25 and you're looking forward, you've got no idea what's ahead of you, right? You don't know what that looks like. You can base it on other things, but you don't know. When you're standing there and you've experienced that, you've gone through that and you've learnt from that. And I've gone through I've got stories to tell. I've gone through some really stuff. And I look back and I'm like, I would give that person that advice is so different. And so I actually genuinely think that I'm better positioned now at the age of 50 to give that level of advice than I was when I was 25. So
I agree with you 100% because we've got the life experience now. Yeah.
So we've got the technical experience. I've got the personal experience. I've competed for 12 years. And then at the same time, I've got that life experience. I'm like, I think it's a powerful position to be at.
Yeah. Certainly.
So I'd like to do something with that.
With your power.
With my power.
Yeah. Ultimate power.
Yeah. feel like we need power rings or something, like, you know, princess of power.
But I think it's such an important thing to hear as well, because I think when I was young, I was an idiot and I just didn't really listen to anyone.
We're very opinionated. We think we know it all, right? At that age.
Yeah.
So I you don't. So how do you get the attention of the idiots? How do you say, hello, I can tell you the right thing, but you don't want to hear?
Yeah.
No, it's true. They don't really want to hear that.
Yeah, because I'm like, I know everything, and everyone is wrong, and old people don't matter. Now I'm the old people.
But I think because we are studio owners, but I do think we're in a very, very unique position to be able to, because I wind those conversations in when I'm teaching, and people kind of listen and take it on. So I think we're in a really unique position to be able to.
I do as well, and because you can sometimes recognize what's happening in somebody's brain before they can, and then you can gently navigate. You know, like I can
we're
see
conductors.
I can see your brain is maybe doing this, but maybe your brain should try to do this instead.
Yes.
Because you might end up happier. Because when you've done it the wrong way, it's easy to see that person following your wrong direction. Like, when you can say, actually, no, turn this way and do it like this, and try it in a different way. So yeah, I think that like taking advice from people with experience in the industry is so important. And like, I will always turn to like people like that have the experience advice, and even like though we're on the journey sort of together, still you guys will have experiences that I haven't had yet. So I'm like, help. Because
but same with you, even though that you are younger than us, I mean, you've been in the industry longer than us as well. So, and you've done things that we've never done.
Exactly.
So you've got experience in different areas as well. So we can all learn from each other.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's, important is that sharing and that the helping each other part of it.
I think that's really
good. Yeah.
And I think there's a lot of us and a lot of, I guess, like leaders in certain things, like we all are. I find the really great leaders, like the ones who own the big studios or, a big competition or whatever. I'm quite often, I will, ring one of them up and say, hey, can you tell me about this? What was your experience here? What do we do there? And they ring me often too.
Yeah.
And I don't think, not many probably people know that, but a lot of the industry leaders, we actually speak to each other.
All friends.
Yeah, we're all friends.
Yeah.
And we all speak to each other and we all give each other advice.
Yeah.
And we have, like we say to people, to each other, I'm going to steal that idea. Is that okay? We're like, take the idea.
Yeah.
Take the idea. We're all happy for each other, to support each other. And I don't think a lot of people know that we do that within the industry.
Yeah, so it's not a competition.
No, we don't know. Thank you. Exactly right. We're supporting each other. Yeah.
And we help each other. Yeah. Like if I don't know how to do this. What's your experience with this? Do you know how to do that? Oh, I have a problem here. Blah, blah, blah. Oh, that's a great idea.
Yeah,
I'm gonna do that.
Yeah,
I do that to Elle all the time. I was like, that's a great idea. I'm going to do that next.
Yeah,
do
it.
Take it out. We want our industry to thrive.
If we want our industry to grow, we should not be competitive 100%. With each other.
No.
I think that when the industry is competitive with each other, it hurts us.
Mm-hmm.
It hurts 100%. Us as a whole.
Yeah.
And it makes pole look bad as a whole.
Well, it creates an air of negativity.
Absolutely, 100%. What an awful thing to have within our industry.
Like dance community, don't we?
Exactly. Yeah. We want that.
No, don't we?
No, we don't. I don't subscribe to the mean girl behavior and the competitive with like that. I want to support everyone in the industry, and I know when I'm supported, it's just so nice. Like if I can ring up different studios and say, hey, for me, for example, have you got any competitors this year? Have you got anyone that wants to compete with APC? And they're like, oh, yeah, I've actually got a great girl. I didn't think about it. Thanks for telling me. Or they ring me and say something like, oh, well, I've done this with my studio or this with my comp. I know that you've got experience with a rig or whatever. Can you tell me who you use? Absolutely.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll give you any information that you need. Yeah,
exactly.
It's just so nice to support each other. I think that's really important.
Yeah.
And I think with us, like to show examples of that, we've got to be like that.
Yes, to be exactly unified as a force.
Yeah.
With ultimate power.
Ultimate power.
That's what you should have called the
podcast. Let's call this podcast Ultimate Power.
I was going to have a cat crying earlier.
I like it.
Yeah,
I like it.
No, I think that's a great sort of point and place to leave it, that everyone should be a team. We're a team.
We are a team. Yeah, agreed.
Yeah. We're all great together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're greater together, I think.
Greater.
Yeah,
agree.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Thank you.
Well, thank you so much for
thank
speaking
you
with us.
so much.
It has been such really enlightening, and I think such really important things to think about, and to really, like, before you get there, maybe have some thought before you're actually in those situations, and like getting the advice from people who've been there before is, I think, very helpful. Very helpful to anybody who wants to go follow in our footsteps.
Absolutely.
And thank you also for sharing personal stories.
Yeah.
We know you as an exceptional pole dancer. We know you as a world champion, a national champion, but not everyone knows your personal stories. And I think that's going to inspire a lot of people. And I think it's important because we are people.
We are, and let's humanize people as well, because I think sometimes people can become very judgmental because they forget that you're a person. You know, that you might see something nasty that somebody says about you online or to somebody else, or like it'll come back to you, and then you hear that negativity as a person. It can affect your mental health, and so I think it's so important to be like to show that human side, and also for like people who are watching us as the audience to remember that, you know, these are people, and we need to always treat people with love and kindness.
And also, you never know what somebody's going through. You just do not know what someone's going through.
Yeah, exactly. That you can't be inside their head. So you have to give them grace.
So for you to share your stories of what you're going through before you competed I think it's important for people to know those sorts of things.
Definitely.
Thank you for
Thank you. It's never nice to share. Hard.
It is hard.
It is hard.
Yeah, it is hard. Yeah. So we appreciate it. Yeah.
Thank you
for having me.
Very, very
appreciate it.
Appreciate you, wonderful lady, Miss Andrea Ryff, sharing her personal stories and trials and tribulations, and we're eternally grateful. I am the Real Felix Kane, at the Real Felix Kane on Instagram, and this is another lady that I talk to a lot.
At Ariel Paul.
At Ariel Paul. Another lady that I talk to a lot. At Ariel Paul. Thank you so much. We hope that you like, subscribe, and follow, and tune into the next one.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.